Hello everybody, AlzaboHD here, and welcome back to the Terrascian Union Stellaris Let's Play series. This is episode 4. Welcome back. For those of you guys who missed the last episode or want a quick recap, in episode 3 we have successfully surveyed our entire home system of Solus, and we have begun the systematic scientific exploration of the solar system of Sirius, where we have found an eligible continental worlds that we can later on colonize, which is going to be a fantastic thing to do. Of course, once we research our colony ship using the New Worlds Protocol, we will be able to hire in some colonists that will colonize this land for our totalitarian communist dictatorship. So, comrades, welcome back. In this episode, I've got a great episode for you guys today. We are going to be exploring our galactic neighborhood and researching these pesky beta aliens, whoever they are. They currently are over here, the unidentified empire in the Wani system. We will see exactly what their borders look like. Hopefully they aren't a fallen empire or too advanced, because then we will just be absolutely destroyed. But I speak too much. Let's go ahead and unpause the game and see exactly where we are. Right. So in the last episode, we have ordered the construction of yet another planetary mining outpost outside of Venus. Due to the fact that we have lost our initial, investment in minerals once a group of space amoebas came in the system and scared our construction worker away. That is why we have set him into a passive fleet stance, so that he just doesn't give a shit as soon as anybody comes in, and we don't waste any minerals, because they are precious, these minerals. We want to save them as much as possible. So that being said, we have successfully surveyed the Sirius system. We're jumping in over here. There are, again, a habitable planet of Sirius 3, which is where our, first colony will inevitably be. And just look at this star. This star is quite incredible. A Class A star. It looks absolutely beautiful. We also have another world that is not habitable at the moment. It is a tomb world, which means that it is currently experiencing a nuclear winter with high levels of surface radiation. Well, that sounds like the perfect planet to send any political dissidents that we encounter. Due to the fact that we are a collectivist nation or empire, we are able to forcibly relocate our population centers from one planet to another. So if we ever have any dissidents or rebellions, we can make sure to send them into this tomb planet, where they will no doubt die a very slow and antagonizing death of radiation poisoning. Well, that's a bit dystopian, isn't it? Let's go ahead and survey the Bernard Star, which is very, very close to our sovereign borders. This, of course, will be an area that we will be able to exploit here in a minute, as soon as our borders from the solar system push out quite a bit. So let's go ahead and pause the game. Again, we are currently researching those beta aliens, which is going to be something interesting. Second Fleet is still looking around over here at all these interesting areas. Although there are no planets down here in the Zidanis Nebula, that is not a big deal. Looks like there's a black hole over here, actually, which is somewhat interesting. We'll have to check that out later. Let's see if this planet over here... Yes, there is a tropical world down here. That's okay. Again, we want to shoot for continental worlds, as that will give our citizens the most happiness. It is what they are used to. Aha. Entities encountered by our fleet some time ago are spaceborne forms of life, quickly nicknamed space amoebas, blah, 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 blah. Let's study them, because I don't really want... we will use our military if necessary, but we don't want to have to really upgrade our navy in some time, because that's going to cost a lot of money, and we need to pump out more minerals. So, let's go and issue a special project for remote space amoeba study. Sounds good to me. Right, so we've finished the mining station on Venus. This is going to give us an extra precious 2 minerals profit per turn. This is absolutely necessary. We're going to need it. And in the future, we are going to be setting up yet another mining outpost, this time on Ceres 1. So we're going to go ahead and move our construction vehicle over here. It's going to cost 81 minerals, so we'll be able to do that in a minute. As our science ship scans the surface of Bernard 2's star, let's go ahead and go over there really fast. Right, these guys over here. It becomes quite clear that we have found something out of the ordinary. Bernard Star 2 has conditions unlike anything we've ever seen before. We will surely become upon even more irregularities like this. So this is an anomaly, I believe, or some type of planetary modifier. Very interesting. So there are more space amoebas in the system that our military is currently in. Let's hope that they warp out of there. Looks like they're starting the warp drive now. We don't want to engage these space amoebas, although they are quickly engaging our forces here. We do not want to fight them. Let's get the hell out of there. Let's retreat. 9 days until emergency FTL is ready. We are far in neutral territory over here, and we have yet to find any continental worlds. So we really need to make sure that we get the hell out of here as fast as possible. So we'll be able to retreat in 9 days. Let's go ahead and see over here. Retreat. We don't want to fight these guys. So we lost the battle. It's okay. We retreated. Let's go ahead and heal up our units. Looks like some of these units are even at half health. If you click this button over here, the repair fleet button, it will remove all of your military units that are currently assigned into the closest spaceport where they will repair. And due to the fact that we only have one spaceport in our home system, that is where they're heading to. So it's a bit of a disappointment that they weren't able to scout out more areas before they have to return home to repair. But at least we got some intel on the southern reaches over here. Like, for example, we have a desert world, we have a tropical world. So far, so good. But we will want to, again, establish some sort of colony here in Sirius. And if we're lucky, we might be able to snag Yidden or maybe even Vigim over here from our alien neighbors. Right. So, let's see. We could opt to study the space amoebas, which might be a good thing. Let's go ahead and do that. It's fine. And as soon as our fleet is repaired, I want to send them back out into the Wani system just because I want to research these aliens. I don't know who they are. They don't know who I am. We need to establish first contact at some point. That would be very, very useful. So our construction ship, again, has nothing to do, but that's okay. Let's go back to our home solar system here and look at our planet. So we're having a food surplus of 2, which means our population is slowly but surely growing, which is fantastic. We might want to go ahead and make more infrastructure on our planet. Be a very, very good thing. Let's see. We could increase the food output or the energy output. We could make another, energy station, which might be a useful thing to do. Or we could even clear out some debris and detritus, but we don't need to do that just yet. That's a little bit later on. We don't really care about that just yet for the moment. We should make a mining network, I believe, once we have enough minerals to do so. We found an anomaly. Let's go and check it out. We'll have a 22% chance of failure, but we'll research it anyways. Of course, if you do fail, you have a chance that your science ship or your scientist will be killed. But we can always make another one if that does happen. It will just set us back quite a bit. This is, of course, on Iron Man mode, so we cannot go back if things get rough. So let's hope that everything goes according to plan. Now I have an option here. I could opt to develop our surface here a little bit, but because our people are decadent, we will be getting less mineral yields than normal. Or we could instead opt to work on making some more mining stations, which will give us the full yield, as they are mined presumably by some sort of slave labor or working class labor that is not affected by the decadent class trait. So, what should we do here? We should probably set up some sort of hydroponics farm, actually, because we do need more food. No, we're going to ignore that for now. For the moment, I think what's more important is making some sort of, mining outpost that's way more important, as those are not affected by the decadent trait. So let's go to our construction ship. We can create a station here for 81 minerals, so we're almost there. Give us 2 more for profit, which is fantastic. And then we'll have to start thinking about getting some more energy from Jupiter, Saturn, or Neptune in order to maintain our arrays over here. So, fascinating indeed. We get an invasion of plus 5% for our navies. So we've learned a little bit about these aliens. They've given us a buff that will last the entire game to our fleet, which is fantastic. Fascinating indeed. Always worth researching these things in your situation log for the most part. So with that being said, we can't research any more aliens for the time being. We're going to wait until our ships come back to our home system to rest up before we send them out. So, physics research gained. We've gained 60 physics research, which will hopefully set us up a little bit ahead over here on our research at physics labs. Just a bit. Gave us about a year's worth of research, which is fantastic. Very, very good. And our construction ship, I believe, Next month, we'll be able to construct another mining outpost. Let's go ahead and check it out. I need 81 minerals. We're almost there. Our science ship, the Columbus, is done scanning Bernard Star, and there's absolutely nothing there, which is a bit of a letdown. You know, this is an entire solar system that has absolutely nothing, which is just terrible. So we're going to instead have our science ship come over to Alpha Centauri. Check that out. It has a continental world, of course, as well, which is good. And it's got a tundra world, probably a lot more resources as well. So we're going to send them out over there, which is fantastic, again. And our construction ship, it'll now be able to build yet another mining outpost, this time on the asteroid of Ceres. Series 1, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and speed up the game speed just a little bit, so that we can afford to make it, just like so. Our construction ship is now busy, fantastic. We want to develop this entire solar system, or solar system, I should say. Don't know why I said solar system. I guess I got a little bit confused down here with the name. And solus does not actually mean sun in Latin, as I was previously led to believe. It, in fact, means alone in Latin. So it's a bit fitting. You know, we are alone in the stars right now. We don't really know any aliens, at least any sentient aliens. We don't have any colonies set up. We are, for all intents and purposes, alone. So we will work to change that here in a minute. As our ships are repairing, they actually cost a bit of minerals too, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but that's okay. Our construction ship is done making the mining outpost. We're going to send them back into Terrascian orbit, so it costs less money for us to upkeep. So we've got some powered exoskeletons, which will increase our army damage and our minerals, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and work on something else here. Let's go ahead and work on, let's see. In engineering, mostly these buffs are going to pertain to our Navy in terms of our output, in terms of damage and things like that. But we can also research things that will increase our mineral, extraction rate. So let's go ahead and work on geothermal fracking. Fracking is great, right? You know, fracking sucks. It's going to poison the land, but we don't really care. We have lots of plants to poison, not just our own. So Agustina Martinez is done. She has a specialty to researching field manipulation technologies. So let's go ahead and have her research deflectors, which will increase our ship's shields, I do believe, which is fantastic. And are our ships done repairing? They're almost done. Of course, each time they do repair, they're taking precious, precious minerals. But they're done repairing now, so we are going to send them off to explore the aliens in the Wani sector. Let's go ahead and send them out there and see what they can find. Of course, our scientist has just skilled up. Let's go ahead and see what trait he has acquired. Something very interesting is that each time your scientist, levels up, they have a chance of acquiring a new trait. In this case, his first trait was anomaly research speed and anomaly fail risk reductions, which is fantastic. We'll see if he gets another trait here in a minute. Very, very quick, though, this guy. He's very, very quick at researching these planets. Of course, the Tundra world is rated as very, very inhospitable towards the Terrascian people, so we're not going to bother with that. But each time you see a green icon like this, it means that there is a habitable planet, which in this case is a continental world. So fantastic for us, good news for us. Always a good thing to find continental worlds, right? Always a good thing. So let's go back over to our second fleet. Let's hope they don't get into combat with these space amoebas. We want them to warp into the alien solar system if they can. Currently in FTL to the Wani system. And we've actually already surveyed the system of Alpha Centauri. A lot of access to energy over here, which is fantastic. Of course, energy will be incredibly important and increasingly important later on. But now that they are done surveying the system, we should go ahead and survey yet another system in our galactic neighborhood. In this case, we will be surveying the Agmatharma system. Or maybe the Bonbo system. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's do the Bonbo system, that's fine. So science ship you are going to be surveying over here, I think. How do I do this exactly? Yeah, survey system, fantastic. All right, so that will all be automatically done. Our construction ship will be able to make yet another mining outpost very, very soon. We found Delta aliens, which are these this empire over here. The Delta aliens. Let's go ahead and research them really fast. Be done in half a year. And now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and explore these sectors that we were not able to see earlier. These over here before going back home. So our military fleet's going to be a bit busy exploring around, which is totally fine, while our science fleet is busy surveying the Bonobo system, or Bornbo system. We're still in the fastest rate of game speed, which is always a good thing. as when you have a very small empire in the early game, it usually behooves you to speed things along a little bit. Of course, as our empire grows and becomes more powerful and more sprawling, it'll be a bit more useful for us to slow things down a bit, just so we can get a good idea of what's going on with our micromanagement here. So for our construction ship outside of the planet Terrascia, we are going to be setting up yet another mining outpost, this time, let's see, on Triton. And to be honest, I would prioritize your minerals before prioritizing your energy credits. And in this case, I got incredibly lucky because I will be able to set up 3 separate additional energy outposts outside of Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune after completing the mineral station on Triton. But it's incredibly important to get your energy credits or your minerals up as fast as possible, which is good. And we came into contact with yet another alien, this time in, in this system. Not exactly sure what types of aliens they were, but we can always research them later on. Right. Yet some more aliens here, it looks like, or maybe some space amoebas. Let's go and take a look at what they might be. These aliens are actually civilized, I think. Oh no, they're mining drones. Okay, so we don't really give a shit about them. And in fact, what I previously mistaken as a sentient species over here in the continental planet of Vengium was actually just a mining drone outpost over here outside of Vengium. So we can clear them out later. I don't believe they are particularly strong. Let's go and take a look. They're not. We could probably take them on, recruiting a few more corvettes. We'll get our naval capacity up. We'll recruit about 3 or 4 more once our construction ship is done making that mining outpost. But for the time being, we are going to continue surveying our galactic neighborhood, as I've mentioned previously. So far, so good. We've only found 1 sentient race, which is just on our western frontier. Again, let's hope that it's not a incredibly powerful and advanced empire, because that will cause, no doubt, some problems for us down the line. So how is our science ship doing over here in Bonobo? It looks like we have some energy credits resources, which is always a good thing. Not as much as Alpha Centauri or Solus. Solus is just a massively useful system over here. And eventually our sovereign borders will reach Alpha Centauri without the construction of a colonial ship or anything like that. So after translating their language, we have established communications with the Estrani hierarchy. Diplomatic channels are now open and the hostilities have been terminated. So as you guys can see, they are over here in the west. This is the Estrani hierarchy, the first sentient alien race that we have come in contact with. And they are a bit more lucky than us. They have access to 5 different solar systems as opposed to our 1. So we really need to expand eventually, and we might just make a frontier outpost, which I will talk about in a minute. So that's excellent. Very, very good. I bring greetings from Grand Marshal Triumphant, the undisputed ruler of the Estrani hierarchy. Respect our borders and keep out of our affairs, and perhaps our mighty fleets will refrain from visiting your worlds. Aha, so how should we respond to this? This option is available to the Terrascian Union having the fanatic materialist thing. You will find yourself no match for us, Estrani. We greet you as one, Estrani. That seems like the most diplomatic thing to say. So, the news that we have encountered intelligent alien life for the first time has been received with mixed feelings by our populace. This confirms what we have long suspected. We are not alone in this galaxy. Each new alien species we encounter represents both an opportunity and a threat. We must be wary. These particular Xenos have a level of technology similar to our own, indicating that we have achieved space flight at roughly the same time. So, this flavor text will change depending on if you're xenophobic, xenophilic, or neither. In this case, I am neither xenophobic or xenophilic, which means that I neither hate or love the alien. So I'm ambivalent. I just don't give a shit about these aliens. So for the time being, that's okay. We don't really care. Right. So that being said, our military ship over here is still exploring, which is fantastic. The problem, of course, is that the what are these guys named? The Estrani hierarchy has dominion, or will soon have dominion over some solar systems that we would like to claim for ourselves. So I'm more or less likely going to set up a frontier outpost very, very soon. More or less likely in Doronama, which will give us access to Yidden and Chernobyl, hopefully. So this will lock off the expansion of the Estrani hierarchy, but it will cost 1 influence per turn to maintain. I'll get into influence again here in a minute. But with that being said, let's go and open our contacts and talk to these space cows, because that's what they look like. They look like space cows. They look a little bit funny over here. So we're there, a military dictatorship. They do not like us very much, but that's okay. Let's communicate with them. We are going to establish an embassy in their empire, which is going to give us a, it's going to increase our relations by 1 every month to a maximum of 100. We want them to be friendly towards us for the moment, and it's not going to cost us anything, so might as well send an embassy over there, just for the time being. That's totally fine. And again, we do not want them to have access to this continental world over here. Speaking of which, what exactly type of world do they have over here? Estuani. Aha, so they're tropical, so they don't really care about continental worlds either, so that's good. Hopefully they'll ignore the continental worlds that we have explored thus far. Of course, they have some access down here in the southeast. This is probably where they're going to expand first in the ILR system. So again, we are in a pretty good position. Not a big deal all around. Our science ship is uncovering quite a bit of resources here in the Bonbo system. A lot of different technology that we can access later on. So that's also a very, very good thing. And our construction ship in Solus is almost done with the next mining station, which has increased our mineral output by quite a bit. We've actually doubled the mineral output from what it used to be, which is fantastic. Our communist system of government is totally collectivizing this solar system, which is something that we are really looking forward to. Now, before we get too much further, we do need to increase our energy credits by just a bit. So let's go ahead and work on setting up a mining station on Saturn. As soon as that's ready, let's go ahead and move it over here. And create a mining station. This will increase our energy output by 3, which will put us in a positive balance of 4, which is something that's very, very good. Later on, of course, we could develop Terrascia a little bit more, which is always a good thing to do. And we will do that in a minute. Our scientist has leveled up yet again, which is always a good thing. And what about our... Right. So our military fleet is coming back into Solus. We're going to upgrade the fleet as soon as they get back. We are going to add 2 corvettes for a grand total of 8 corvettes in our main fleet. We need to make sure that now that we've uncovered an alien empire, that we have some sort of military that we can go toe-to-toe with them. That'll be very, very important later on in the future. So, Epsilon aliens, we could research them. We're close to upgrading finding the colony ship. Let's go ahead and research this just because we are a bit further away from being able to obtain the colony ship, at least for the time being. And in the solar system itself, we will be sending the second fleet into orbit around Terrascia. Well, they'll cost a little bit less in terms of mineral upkeep. And we'll also go ahead and send out some more corvettes, where we will increase our military power by just a little bit here. So here we go, another Doolittle class corvettes. Anomaly, let's research that. That's totally cool. Again, we can always create more construction ships and science ships eventually, but we don't really have any sort of impetus to do so right away. So that's okay. Our construction ship, as planned, has made an mining outpost outside of Saturn, where they are harnessing the electrical energy of Saturn to give us more energy credits directly, which is always, always, always a great thing. So we've basically developed most of the solar system. Let's go and just take a look really quick. The only thing that we have not developed is Jupiter, which we will get on in a minute, or actually Neptune as well. We should probably upgrade Neptune next. But for the time being, we're going to have our construction ship orbit Terrascia to cost us a little bit less money and maintenance, which is always a fantastic thing to do.
Construction complete.
Whoa. Precursors. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization. They must have been active in this region of space approximately 12 million years ago, which is a long time ago. They were worm-like annelids, roughly 3 to 4 meters in length, that communicate with each other primarily through vibrations carried along their segmented bodies. I hate insects, and this sounds incredibly disgusting. So let's say interesting. That's okay. We can recover their artifacts later on. That's okay. Not a big deal. So that being said, the end of the episode is almost here. I'm going to go ahead and make one more Corvette ship before we end the episode. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking by. I know that the early game of Stellaris is a little bit slow-paced, but I ask you guys to stand by because I guarantee you this will be an incredibly interesting series once we reach out and conquer our neighbors. First off will be the Estuani hierarchy because we hate them. They look like weird-ass little space cows. Yeah, we're going to subjugate the shit out of them. We'll enslave them and set them up in some frontier planets, mainly the tropical worlds, where they will be very, very diligent slaves that will serve Olafir Olanovo, the dictator of the totalitarian government of the Terrascian Union. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 5, where we will more or less likely start researching, or rather finishing the researching, or finish the research of colony ships, and send out our first colony ship, which will most likely be sent out to Yidden, so we can kind of claim this area and prevent the S20 hierarchy from kind of settling in this area in the north over here. So we want to block off the S20 hierarchy from being able to take this prime real estate. There are 2 continents or worlds in this area, maybe even 3. Let's just go ahead and double check really fast. We want to make sure that they don't set up shop in a tropical world like in Donorma. So we're going to make sure that we set up some sort of, you know, colony over here in Vinjum or in Yidden, and then eventually we'll set up some in Sirius and Alpha Centauri. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, episode 5. I'll see you guys then. Take care.